how's it going? I'm IlaGolden and welcome to my vlog. Okay, so at the end of the last one I said that this one was going to be about birthdays, then hinted very strongly that there was a definite reason for that. Reason being, we are now in March, and March happens to be not only the month that I was born in, but the month that a number of my characters were also born in. I don't know if it's slightly egotistical having characters born in the same month as you or not, especially the ones which also happen to share the same day of birth as me. But there we go. March is a awesome month. It is the best month of the year in my personal opinion, but I might be slightly biased there, so take that with a pinch of salt. So yes, why do I particularly want to talk about birthdays at the beginning of March and not closer to my birthday than that? Several reasons really. Some of them I will get into later on in this vlog, I think, but I think for now let's just launch into talking about birthdays and the importance of birthdays for my characters, and as plot points within my stories when they are. So in general, I do not have every single character's date of birth mapped out. I do have a lot of them. In fact, I do have what I refer to as my multiverse timeline, where a lot of my characters' dates of birth have been figured out and plotted and whatnot. But I haven't done it for every single character, because there are too many to do that with, and because not all characters are necessarily working by our Gregorian calendar system, or using necessarily our date system. Certainly the future or the relative future reality haven't quite worked out what's going on there in terms of like months and years and how all that kind of works. So I definitely don't have any of them sort of plotted out, but I do have a lot. Those characters who I don't have plotted out, I do have like generally a fairly decent idea as to when they were born or their age in relation to other characters. And most of the time I tend to stick to most of the time I tend to not reference it unless it is, as I said, a plot point or an important beat point within whatever narrative it is that I'm telling. In the tales, because let's face it, what haven't I done in the tales at this point? You do get definitely two characters celebrating their birthdays, and those are plot points. They're not necessarily major plot points, depending on which ones you're talking about. They are definitely plot points, and they are definitely plot relevant points. So yeah, I'm not, birthdays are a bit like what I was saying with holidays and celebrations. You utilize them in the best way that you can, depending on what it is you're writing at that particular point, and you don't like throw them in just for no reason. So whether it's just referencing that this is an event that's coming up, or whether you're actually showing the celebration of the birthday itself, it needs to be sort of relevant to the point in the story that you're at, or has to have some connection back to the story and how the story's moving forward. Characters in the tales probably have their birthdays plotted out. I think all of them have their birthdays pretty much mapped out on the multiverse timeline. Interestingly enough, because obviously that is my fanfic series, so some of those characters are not mine. I have used their canon days and months of birth from the Yu-Gi-Oh series. I did look that up and find out what that was supposed to be, and have used their canon days and months. But for reasons I have not used the years, partly because although it is, it would be connected to the realm that the actual Yu-Gi-Oh takes place in, but it is not that realm. It is a separate realm, so doesn't have to match up date-wise completely, and as I said, for reasons, has been adjusted. But I won't go into too much detail about that. But using their dates and whatever, I'm able to map out my own sort of characters' birthdays within that. So that was kind of fun, especially when it came to like the younger characters, sort of plotting out like when everybody would need to be born based on like plot points that I'd done or referenced within the series. So I do, when I can be bothered to make that kind of effort, I do kind of enjoy plotting out and working out when characters are actually born, and you know, if I can remember that, then I will acknowledge it in some ways around that time. But more often than not, I don't actually remember who was born when. I don't have the best memory in the world. I would love to maybe one day like do a calendar and like have all my characters' birthdays sort of like plotted out, and I'll be like, yeah, celebrating this person's birthday today. Or these characters' birthdays today, because a lot of them do sort of have the same birthday here and there, and that's partly because of whole alternate reality thing. So some of the birthdays are going to sort of match up, and some are not, and it's like, yeah. So yeah. But like I was saying, so you know, I don't always know exact days and dates of birth for various characters, and but I will sort of have sort of an idea as to when they would have been born in terms of what time of the year, which characters are older than other characters. And for a good example of that, I'm going to use Hyena Boy and several of the characters in Hyena Boy. For example, I know of the friendship group, Sly is the oldest. I'm not sure if he's late September or early October, but he's sort of around that sort of time. He is the oldest member of the group. And then you have Zell, who is definitely November. I don't know why. I'm just very, very certain that he's November. I'm not even going to say that it matches with his personality necessarily, because I don't know what people born in November are supposed to be like. I do have a friend who is born in November. Actually, I used to have two, but just one now. Friendship groups. And I wouldn't say that, you know, her personality and Zelle's personality were anything alike whatsoever. So I don't know what the appropriate type of personality for somebody born in November is supposed to be, if that is such a thing, which can't really say that I'm the type of person who was supposed to be born in March. So that's my thoughts on it. But yeah, no, I just, in my head, I know he is November. He's definitely November. And then you have Jay, who is definitely March, obviously, because March is the best month. And why would he not be born in March? March is awesome. And then Orion, who is beginning of April, and it's definitely beginning of April because both he and Jay are both Aries in terms of their star signs. So they have to be within a few weeks of each other in order for that to sort of work, which again also gives you a good indication of when in March Jay is born. Though I do know his actual, I do actually know his date of birth, but yeah, I don't feel the need to throw that in right here. So yeah, Orion is definitely the beginning of April. He, of the male members of the friendship group, is the youngest. And then you have Taylora, who is June. So she is the youngest, and she is a summer baby, as it were. So yeah, and again, Jay is the only one who I know his exact day and date of birth. The others I know what years they would have been born in relation to each other for them all to be in the same school year. But I don't have the actual day of the month they were born in. But that's fine because it's sort of I'm working with the awareness that these are the details, but they're not necessarily plot points. The only reason I need to know Jay's is because it's his story being told in his words, you know. So it's something that he is going to acknowledge from at least time to time, and you know, it's going to be a relevant thing in terms of placement within, you know, his story structure as a, you know, it's a plot point. It is a plot point within his own story. His birthday is a plot point within his own story. Although I don't think you ever see him celebrate it. So yeah, that's, as I said, that's the kind of way I deal with character birthdays and stuff like that. I have either the really meticulous, everything is detailed out end of it, or I have the more loose, I sort of have a rough idea and I may know one or two of them, but other than that, it's more sort of a awareness of when these characters would have been born and awareness of when these characters would have had their birthdays, rather than knowing it precisely. As I said, one day I will probably go through and I will probably make firm decisions on everybody's birthdays, have them all set in stone, even though it's completely pointless and irrelevant information, for the most part. Because it's, you know, it's something that I think in a lot of ways it adds an extra layer to your writing and to the characters, and it makes them more real, at least to you as the writer, and hopefully, you know, when it's relevant in the same way to the reader as well, to sort of be able to kind of go, oh yeah, that makes sense because, and stuff like that. So yeah. So I did sort of say that, you know, there was a definite reason why birthdays is now in the month and not closer to my birthday. The reason being that there are going to be a couple of vlogs this month, which I'm doing specifically because this is my birthday month. The next one and the one the week of my birthday, with the other two just being sort of various other things. So the next one is one of the ones which is going to tie back to the fact that it is my birthday month, and it will be talking about what's going on with Hyena Boy. Now, I know Hyena Boy has had its own one, I know Jay has had his own one, and I know I've mentioned Hyena Boy in some of the updates that I've done. There are some things going on at the moment, which may cause a delay in Hyena Boy coming out. So when I'm filming this, I'm still filming this at a point where it is going to cause a delay in Hyena Boy coming out. If that changes by the time I do the next vlog, I'll fingers crossed that it does. Then I, you know, will focus properly on what is going on with that and be really excited and really ecstatic and really happy, because yeah, it should be good. But needless to say, I want to tackle that as its own subject and its own topic, and then you'll know what week my birthday is falling in, even though I'm not necessarily going to tell you what day my birthday is on, because that will be the next Fanfluations one. And why is there going to be a Fanfluations one on the week of my birthday? Because I like doing the Fanfluation one, and it is fun and it's enjoyable, and it's how I want to sort of celebrate my birthday with you guys. Specifically, and this is unusual with my Fanfluation ones, I don't usually tell you guys ahead of time what my Fanfluation ones are going to be about, but this particular Fanfluation one is going to be talking about my YouTube fandom and my evolution of how I've become not part of the YouTube community as such, but why I watch the creators that I watch, how I've evolved in my tastes on YouTube over the years a little bit, and you know, why I am the way I am with YouTube, why it is my primary source of entertainment for the most part these days. um, because again, it's what I really want. It's a transformation that I knew that I needed to or wanted to do at some point, and doing it for my birthday just feels right. It feels like, yeah, that's the time that I should cover that one specifically. And as I said, the remaining two ones for this month are going to be on things that you guys don't need to know about just yet. That's not because it hasn't been decided yet. They have both been decided, but they're not birthday relevant type ones. So as I said, next time is going to be talking about what's currently going on with Hyena Boy. And hopefully you guys will find it as interesting and exciting and as I kind of do at the moment, amongst all the other things I'm sort of feeling with it, like anxiety and impatience, and everything else. And yeah, the week of my birthday, and as I said, it will mean that you'll know what week my birthday is, even though I'm not telling you what day my birthday is. That will be the next Fanfluations, and it's going to specifically be on my YouTube fandoms. So I'm finally going to be talking about game theory, guys. I won't just be wearing the hoodie, I will be talking about it. Okay, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. I hope you guys are looking forward to the ones that I've mentioned coming up this month. And I will see you guys next time. See ya! If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to check out some of my others, and if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. See ya!